Situation has gone viral on Twitter where a mangaka was harassed by the Twitter police and decided to delete her entire account. This is even going viral on Spanish Twitter, for example, where this tweet with 17,000 likes was, as you can see, posted in Spanish, and it reads, "The damage caused by anime tourists. Funday, the mangaka of Gambare Nakamura-kun, has deleted her Twitter account due to the constant harassment she suffered from those who called themselves fans of her work. They harassed a person just because the work did not adapt to their tastes and preferences. The harassment targeted a side subplot involving teacher So Otagiri and student Daiki Hirose, which some new anime viewers called creepy, despite Hyundai's prior note that it holds no romantic or sexual intent. In a heartbreaking, now deleted post on April 12th, she shared her pain. Complaints left her feeling unable to please everyone, so she chose to leave before noon. Fans rallied in support, decrying the bullying while urging kindness towards creators as the incomplete manga and ongoing Crunchyroll anime hang in the balance." And we've got Hyundai's official post here is mentioned. It reads, "I just get complaints about why the heck I'd draw something like this, and I don't have the ability to create something that makes everyone as happy as they're expected. So there's no point in being manga anymore, is there? I thought I should at least say goodbye at the end, but they're telling me to get out of here as soon as possible, so I'm leaving before noon." Hopping over to her account, and you can see that, yeah, she has indeed deleted the whole thing. This recent incident is causing more and more Japanese people to become aware of the Western Twitter police and the modern audience types, and how they love to always whine on social media, trying to look for things to cancel. That's how they spend their time, by publicly talking about how offended they are. Great life, huh? More details here reading, Go For It Nakamura creator Funday has deleted their X account after severe criticism online for some of the work's content, despite having cleared up months ago already that there is no ill intention from the currently criticized teacher character. We'll talk about that more in a second. Keep the teacher character in mind. The anime adaptation recently started and is currently airing, saying Go For It Nakamura is a boys' love rom-com about a shy, clumsy teenage boy trying his best not to mess things up with his crush despite his nervousness. So it's a BL series, or you could say it's a gay series, and the same Western modern audience people that always demand representation are now getting offended at a gay series and trying to cancel that. It reminds me of the other day when these people were trying to say that Kira from JJK is trans. And one of the arguments from a trans activist was actually getting called out as transphobic by their own followers, the other trans activists, in which we literally saw trans activists going after each other, trying to cancel each other and calling each other transphobic. As for the current situation with Nakamura, this is certainly not the first time we've seen a Japanese mangaka or a Japanese artist harassed off Twitter. Unfortunately, it happened quite a lot during the lockdown period of like 2020 to 2022-ish. Back then, they would usually complain about skin color, though. That was their favorite thing. Oh, hey, this Japanese artist drew a character one shade lighter. Oh my gosh, I'm so offended. This is making me so angry. And it's always hilarious seeing how exceptional these Twitter police are. But unfortunately, some people overseas don't realize that these are just a bunch of people not worth listening to. Unless you're laughing at them, it's one thing. But like, deleting your art or deleting your account over it, you hate to see it. It's unfortunate that people put weight on it. They should just like ignore them or laugh at them. Say, oh, you're mad, good. I've seen some Japanese people say stuff like that, and it's always great when they do. But then, like in this situation, some people don't want to deal with it, and I don't blame them for that. But at the same time, like, it's a bit much to delete your whole account or to stop working on something that you love because some performative weirdos on social media were offended. We briefly talked about the teacher being what they're mad about regarding Nakamura, and that seems to be, for example, this, where one of the students is like crushing on the teacher or something, but again, the teacher apparently doesn't reciprocate this at all, and now they're, again, making a big deal about this and harassing the mangaka over it. One comment right here even says, "Please remove the teacher. We are willing to cancel the massive call out." I couldn't imagine being so egotistical. Like, there's you're enjoying a show, and then like one thing bothers you and you're going to start harassing the person that made the show and like demand that they change it and like threaten them, like make implicit threats that you're going to continue the call out, the harassment if they don't capitulate to your ridiculous demands. Like, bro, just move on with your life. If you don't like the show, move on. Oh my gosh, it's so performative. Even out of my favorite pieces of fiction, I don't think there's ever been one where I like agree with 100% of everything and didn't have like one thing at least where I'm like, oh, I wish that would have went down a little bit differently. But I would never in a million years think like, oh, I'm going to go publicly harass the author of this work now and like demand that they change this. Like, what is wrong with these people? That's a rhetorical question, by the way. You don't need to answer that question. We all know what's wrong with these people. With additional context in this tweet that reads, Go For It Nakamura has been hailed by Western critics of BL as good representation and a wholesome exception to most BL for almost 10 years. But with the release of the cleaner anime adaptation, Western fans have begun a 180, problematizing the manga's content and its author. This Japanese post for the upcoming Nakamura episode has been up for less than a day, and Western people just seeing Hirose jump on the teacher are crashing out in the comments and quote retweets and being extremely embarrassing and aggressive. Did we celebrate too soon? Good lord. It gets even worse though, and I'm going to be vague about this part because of some recent issues on YouTube if you saw my video from the other day, but let me just explain this without showing anything, and I got to be a little vague. Because that same user then showed a compilation of what looks like TikTok comments, some with almost 1,000 likes, where all these people on TikTok are accusing the mangaka of being a PDF, and you know what comes next. File, right? Over this whole thing. And a number of other comments where they're also being very xenophobic towards Japan, essentially accusing all of Japan of being the term that I just mentioned. Look, I really don't like Crunchyroll. You guys know that. I've got like dozens of videos criticizing Crunchyroll over the years, but let me just point this out really quick. So like I said, this show is both a manga and a currently airing anime. For example, you have this graphic, love is in the air, and we love these new Go For It Nakamura-kun profile avatars. Pick yours now on the Crunchyroll site. And it's just sad imagining that, like, you know, this is airing and people are enjoying it, but the mangaka is like all depressed now because of these Twitter freaks. It's a cute graphic too. It's just the juxtaposition. The mangaka should be happy seeing the fandom enjoying her show. And instead, now she's like saying she's off Twitter. She's not going to say goodbye. Like even kind of like implying like, I don't know, maybe the show will get wrapped up early or something too. It's just a real shame. I'm getting a lot of Spanish tweets recommended to me over this whole situation. And a lot of them are actually really based. For example, this one, 1K likes. It reads, I'll never understand how someone who claims to love the manga and anime industry can be so stupid as to celebrate the censorship of the work they're supposedly fans of. Their argument is, it's better this way so it reaches more people. The user says, anime was never aimed for that, and that's why it's good. Yes, indeed, good take. It's like I've said before. Japan has a unique competitive advantage in the anime medium. We like anime for the way it is. We like it being different. And like trying to aim for the global audience and all that is always a mistake. And these people are always going to get mad and offended anyways. So hopefully we don't see more studios, aiming for the global audience, the modern audience. We've seen some try that. For example, Square Enix in various ways. That's getting a little bit out of the scope of this video. But, quick, vague example there. I should say like generalized example. But we've seen other people in the industry calling that stuff out, saying that anime should not reach for a global audience. For example, I previously talked about this a few months ago. Neon Genesis Evangelion director Hideaki Anno does not believe creating for the global market is the way to go. With the quote, I'm sorry, but the audience will have to be the one to adapt. Very base comment. This guy gets it. Back to our Spanish user from a minute ago. We've got this tweet they also made with 4,100 likes where they added on to their previous take saying, in the end, Ganbare Nakamura-kun became the perfect example of the damage that tourists do to anime. A work censored while a large part of its audience is anesthetized, applauding like idiots a censorship that only harms the work they claim to love. Japanese Assembly member Zengo Kurishida would also chime in, leaving this post with 10,000 likes that reads, with language barriers removed, some Japanese creators are reporting an increase in slander and criticism from overseas. If overseas standards are applied to Japanese works in this way, the uniqueness of Japanese anime, manga, games, and other content may be lost. We would be grateful if people overseas who value this uniqueness would support Japanese creators. I feel that most fans are saying that it's important for Japan to remain Japan. I need to spread that message as well. That's also in reference to the recent algorithmic change where, on Twitter, Japanese posts are now being recommended to people outside of Japan with auto-translation also being applied and vice versa. While this has led to many wholesome interactions, it has also led to the Twitter police being enabled to find more Japanese people to harass even easier. It's interesting and sad and pathetic how we have these tourists, both in real life and on social media, that continually take advantage of the kindness of people in Japan. For example, these nuisance streamers that we've seen always going to Japan because, again, they're taking advantage of the kindness of Japanese people, and they go over there and act all crazy and annoying and ridiculous and obnoxious. And on social media, we have a different form of tourists, the ones that we've talked about, for example, throughout this video, where they'll look for Japanese people to harass. They view them as easy targets. They are a bunch of pathetic bullies, really. But the good news, the bright side of it all, is more and more people in Japan, while becoming aware of the tourists, are starting to also push back against them more often. For example, we have this comment that says, "Please know that these idiots represent a very small portion of us. There are plenty of anime that aren't for me. However, I know that there are many people who may love it. What these idiots fail to do is look around. There are so many different writing styles for each." Response saying, "It's fine, it's part of the course in Japan for idiots to be the minority after all. Or rather, if idiots became the majority, I think humanity would easily go extinct." Adam Savvy leaving a response here that says, "In a way, I'm glad that Japanese are finally seeing the insanity here, if only so they can become aware that the companies their studios work with are butchering anime and games. 99.99% of real fans of anime, manga, games, and anything coming from another country do not want that thing to change. They don't want food, culture, names to be changed. But because there are losers in business who somehow convince companies of globalization through sanitization, we are stuck like this for the moment. But it's still sad to see. I'm glad it's now socially acceptable for everyone to push back. But it doesn't change the pain of watching artists since 2017 or so get bullied. I had no platform then, not saying I have much of one now, but at least I try to help move information and give love to artists under attack." As for Nakamura and Funday, we can only hope that she'll see the massive rallying of support that she's getting in the face of these losers crying about her work, and she'll be overjoyed by that, right? Can hope for a good ending. We'll see where things go, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, appreciate ya. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one.